Once declared the best band in America by a heavily inebriated gentleman at a pub gig, Sapling is arguably New England's premier bitch pop and art rock band. And with me today, I have Rainy, Amber, and Johnny Spaghetti. Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi. They can't hear us wave, but we wave.
That's true.
Yeah.
They can imagine. It's the theater of the mind.
Mhm.
Mhm.
That's one of the cool things I really love about Sapling is in addition to being the bitch pop, is the art rock. I love a good art rock band. Are your performances more than just, singing your songs? Are they when you go to a live show, are we going to get fully entertained?
Amber can
Oh,
answer that.
so when we play live shows, I have the clown box. Since the first day Sapling started with Rainey and myself and our former drummer Dave Signetti, um, I insisted upon bringing this very inconvenient clown box full of
Very
props.
inconvenient.
It's very inconvenient. It's large. And it is full of, I'm not even sure what most of the time, but you are probably going to go home with glitter and maybe paint on you, or maybe, a new trinket out of the clown box. I don't know what's going to happen most of the time.
Awesome.
I have had to stop playing more than once because I looked over and saw Amber interacting with something she'd pulled out of the clown box. Once this was eating a banana, and I had to just wait because I'm like, what is even happening? And I was laughing too hard to continue. So it's not an act. I don't know what's in there.
I love that's even better to not know what's to expect. That's amazing. um your first single off your new album, which will be out in May, I believe, right?
May 7th.
Amor Fatty.
Amor fati, yes.
Amor Fati. Um, the first single you released, A Fox Upon the Tomb. What's up with the dancing foxes on the grave?
So that song honestly has went in kind of an interesting on a little interesting journey. So I got the title of Fox Upon the Tomb from a guy in a Facebook like Esperanto learning group. So I like weird languages and stuff. And he said he was writing a little poem and he said something about da 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 a fox upon the tomb. And I was like, what is that from? And he's like, oh, I don't know. I was just rambling. So I had it in my head for a while and eventually it became kind of a little bit of a metaphor for me where like, you think of a fox, it's like a cunning person, or especially like a sexy woman or something. And the idea of like being on the tomb felt like dancing on somebody's grave to me. So it's like things are falling apart or something's going wrong, but I can still be a fox upon the tomb and just sort of like living amongst it. And then we happened to see that the video. So in the video, it is two vixens. It is two female foxes, and they are basically what happens is they have these little battles, and the stronger vixen gets to have her I don't know if they're pups or kits or whatever the baby foxes in this at that area. So they are actually fighting for territory, but the
Ah,
noise they make is called geckering. So at the very end of the video, you get that little and it's geckering.
oh,
And
cool.
this woman named Sheila Mackey had this page on Facebook called "A Fox on My Doorstep" or something like that, and we just happened to see it. I emailed her and I was like, "Can I send you like $50 and use one of your video clips?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'll buy food for the foxes with it." And I was like, "Cool."
Oh,
That was that. So
very cool. I love how the song starts off. I have an IUD and a gun. Which do you think is more likely to be made illegal?
oh God, IEDs. I mean, that's like
IUD, obviously.
Yeah,
I mean,
they're going
America.
in that direction.
yeah, it's the thing. It's like that's they're already talking about that one. And yeah, it's actually a true story that I did actually get an IUD incidentally about 30 days before Roe was overturned. Complete kind of coincidence that was not part of my thinking whatsoever, just a separate decision that I made. And when everything started to go down, I just kind of freaked out one day and I was sitting around thinking of like lyrics and I just said, I have an IUD and a gun. Like an IUD is so terrifying, this, birth control, whatever. Um, yeah, and it was just kind of this idea of having two weapons present, and then okay, I don't have a gun, right? But I still have this other thing that terrifies you. A lot of my lyrics too are also very like not necessarily linear. So the everything in the song isn't necessarily related to that theme whatsoever, but
Mhm.
yeah, that's definitely where I was at with the
Do you
intro.
take turns, or do you share in the writing process, or is it just you, Rainey?
Oh no, it's definitely not just me. I would say as a whole band, I think we're very, very collaborative. Lyrically, I mean, John isn't necessarily writing lyrics, he's working on his drum parts. I don't know the percentage. We credit Sapling with everything. We don't say like this is a Rainy song and this is an Amber song because I don't think either one of us can do it without the other person's input. Like we definitely have stuff that I started and it's a little bit more of like, okay, this is kind of something I may be steering, but I have no idea where it's going to end up until Amber comes into play. And I think it's true on the reverse too. Like the single we just released, Snake Charmer, I still refer to it a bit as like an Amber song because it was obviously like obvious to us, kind of her brainchild and her style. And then the two of us kind of jumped in and took it where it ended up.
Great.
Vocally, on the first record, I sang more. And on this record, I still show up a little bit more vocally, but there's a lot more Amber on this one. And there's more that she just does by herself, too.
Cool. No
It's kind of
Sequoia.
like a snowball. Our ideas are a
Mhm.
snowball. Like
Yeah, for
Rainey
sure.
and I will back and forth an idea, and that's how we came up with the album cover. Because we just kind of bounce a lot of ideas and lyrics back and forth on one another. And sometimes like we'll give each other vocal parts to do that the other one has written. Like that happened with Age of Icarus in the song. Rainey was like, oh, I kind of want you to sing this part because I want to do harmonies with it. And I was like, word, cool.
Yeah, that
Um,
happens a lot where I'm like, I need to do something else here, so you're just gonna sing my part or quote unquote. I'm doing air quotes, radio people.
Mhm.
It's all very cool. Your second single that was released off Amor Fati, 1137. It's about Taylor Hawkins, is it?
Yeah, and again, again, my lyrics do bounce all over the
Loosely.
place, but that was one song that was very more than other things I've written had a bit of a purpose. The Foo Fighters, like I full disclosure, I don't really think they've put out a good record since 2011. Wasting Light was incredible, but I still have a big FF tattoo on the side of my leg. Dave Grohl is the reason I play music. Like I cannot overstate the effect that band has had on my life. I've seen them so many times, and yeah, the day that I found out, or the night that I found out that Taylor died, I absolutely lost my mind. And I am not the type to like cry when someone I don't know dies, like a celebrity, or I don't, I'm like, well, that's gonna happen, but it was so jarring. And yeah, I jumped into starting the lyrics for that one the next day. And I don't remember honestly if I wrote the riff at the same time or not, or if it just kind of came together. But I was like, we're doing this one, guys. So that I guess helped me process the whole thing a little bit.
I'm glad you did it.
Hmm.
And the last single that was released was Snake Charmer. Is this an adaptation of a nursery rhyme, or what?
yeah, so the nursery rhyme was made popular by this song The Poor Old Country Maid, which is in public domain, but it's one of those songs that gets passed around a lot. Personally, I'm very into storytelling and folklore, and I like the idea of how things get passed around. And there is a certain essence of exoticism, and again, in American culture, that the song has. That if you know the history behind the song, you will understand a little bit more. But I just really like the idea of taking this song that everybody knows and everybody kind of likes that the Arabian riff for, and just kind of just how to what's the word I'm looking for? Ripping pieces apart and making them my own.
Very cool.
And Rainey came in with a very moody bass line for that.
And you also have help from Dana Colley, who's doing. 'Cause I guess you were going for a chamber doom song, and
So
with Dana Colley's bass clarinet, and I think it's perfect for this song.
the best thing, so he actually called it Chamber Doom after he heard the mastered version of it. And I was like, oh, I'm rolling with that. Yeah, so Dana Colley, we don't like know him super closely or anything, but I had messaged him a while ago to ask if he knew where to get like a bass clarinet at a really affordable price. I'm like, do you have like an underground network of like woodwind people that, sell stuff? And he said, no, but I have this alto clarinet you can basically just take. I'm not playing it or whatever. You can borrow it, whatever. And I was like, oh my God. So I have it. I got it cleaned up. We're using it in Sapling now. You might see it at our release show on May 7th. But so I stayed in touch with him and I was like, you know what? Actually, we would love to like, get you to play on this song and everything. And so actually something funny happened. We had originally hired him to play Barry sax. Like when I emailed him and everything, I said, we want you to play Barry sax on this song. And I'm not sure what if he just kind of like just decided to do bass clarinet and was like, nah, this is what I'm doing, or if it was because we talked about bass clarinet so much in the interim, which we did, that he, forgot. Either way, when we heard it, I was like, no, no, that was the right choice. That was the right choice. It sounds so
It's
filthy.
perfect.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm really glad he came up with the chamber doom thing because
So you haven't been to a Vapors of Morphine show in Boston?
we
Oh,
actually,
hmm.
John, yeah.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say we saw them in Stone Church in
Oh,
Vermont.
cool.
Rainey and I did.
I saw them at a whiskey distillery, and actually that night they were playing, the original Morphine drummer was filling in for their current drummer,
Mhm.
and I felt like that was a little extra special treat for me. They're one of my favorite bands. Morphine is one of my favorite bands to listen to while I paint. I have my like
Oh,
albums
yeah.
that are my go-tos, and just the sexy skanky horns, and I love that.
Mhm.
Absolutely. One of my all-time favorites too. Um, there's some great titles on the remaining songs of Amor Fati. The Werewolf of Nikola Tesla, a Mausoleum, uh,
It's a
Mm.
museum, so
a
that's not
museum.
actually a
There we go.
song. It's poetry, but then we put music on it, so it's a museum. And that song started out as an argument about whether we were soup, salads, or sandwiches.
Which I think John really brought that conversation together. We recorded most of this record in North Smithfield, Rhode Island, at Distorted Forest with Jared Mann. He's lovely, and but we recorded a few tracks at John's house. He's got a really cool recording setup going there. And after we finished the songs we were doing at John's house, I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna like hit record on my phone and forget it's going. And we'd been imbibing for a while at that point.
A
So
bit.
a little. So what you hear when you listen to the record and you hear The Werewolf of Nikola Tesla, that conversation was very much not staged. It is edited for time, so I probably cut like 30 seconds out of an 11-minute conversation.
Mhm.
But yeah, John really carried that one, I think.
Yeah,
I
it was
imagine-
about 1 in the morning.
I imagine you must have some great conversations in the tour bus or in the tour van.
If you mean somebody else's Subaru Forester, yes,
Mhm.
that we don't really own. Yeah, it's great.
I have a van that doesn't drive right now because I
Mhm.
can't afford the insurance on it, and it would make a great touring van, except the half of it is rusty. So
Oh boy.
I have a Camry.
I like the Subies.
Yeah.
I love the great dyadic back and forth between Rainey and Amber. Like in Bikini BDRK.
Mhm.
Are we going to see more of that on the new album?
There's actually, I would say there's less of the straight back and forth. So on the last record on Bikini, which we call it Bikini BDRK, we usually just say Bikini Bedrock too. That song and like Everything Was Better, we had a lot of true like bouncing. We don't really do that on this one. We actually have some harmonies on the new record, which is like, whoa, slow down, everyone. For us. Historically not our thing. But we had some intentional harmonies. I really know I enjoyed kind of like coming up with those. And we have things where one person is taking the main kind of vocal duties in a song and then others are throwing stuff in. And we always force John to do some vocals.
Oh, good.
Very
One thing at
minimal
least.
vocals on an album.
You
Yeah.
actually, fun fact,
I nailed
John
that wolf.
yeah, John is the first voice you hear on the record this time around. So um I think, what did you say on the last record? You said yes and what? Was that it?
I also said X,
Oh, right,
Y.
the XY part. Yeah, XY.
Mhm.
Okay.
So my favorite part on No Sequoia is during I'm Sorry, where
Oh,
John
yeah.
just comes in with that one little what and Rainey loses her shit with that scream. That moment is like, oh, yes.
Well, yeah, the parts between me and Amber it goes like, what? Nothing. What? Nothing. I said what? I said nothing. And then you just hear John pop in, what?
What?
And I just completely lose my mind. I'm like, yeah.
Mhm.
So
Very cool.
I think vocally, Rainey and I try to complement each other a little bit in different ways. Like the first album was very back and forth, but this one is with harmonies, and this one is like during UK Modern. I just come up with these random rambles throughout the song. Amber rambles is a bramble. Um,
Mhm.
so we're still trying to complement each other, but there's not quite as much of that back and forth as those happen organically for those songs, and I think that that's not something that we necessarily want to force, but we want to just work on complementing each other in whatever way feels natural.
I think it was helpful early on for No Sequoia because we weren't as good at writing stuff yet. So I remember sitting down with Bikini and being like, all right, let's just yell stuff back and forth and see what sounds good phonetically. And that's why that song makes no sense.
Mhm.
Sometimes those are the best songs.
Mhm.
Mhm.
I'm running out of time. I have so many questions. Hopefully, maybe you can come by the studio someday. I was telling John.
Where are you located exactly? Or...
In Willimantic, Connecticut.
Yeah, I was telling
Oh,
him we played there with the other band before.
Willimantic
oh,
Records,
okay.
yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Fun to say.
Interesting. Good to know. Good to know.
I want to play a quick game with you, okay?
Ooh.
I'm going to give you a song title that is in the form of a question. You can either tell me who sang the song or answer the question.
I lost already.
Everybody
So
does.
you're
That's
gonna
why I
give us
go slow. So
okay.
I'm
You're
going to
gonna
give
give us
you a song title.
hmm
You tell me who sang the song.
Okay.
And basically, the song title is going to be in the form of a question.
Or if we don't know who sang it, we have to answer the question.
Yeah.
All right.
Pick a number between 1 and 200.
187.
Ooh, you're going down to the bottom. Okay. Oh, this is a trick one because there's multiple answers. Okay. Where did you sleep last night?
Okay.
Lead Belly, maybe.
That's one.
Lead Belly or that Nirvana unplugged session that I play the theremin to quite often.
Oh, that's right. I wanted to bring in the theremin. I love a good theremin.
Gotta bring in the theremin.
And you've got a bunch of stickers all over yours, and it looks well worn, and I love it.
I do not have stickers on mine.
Oh, you don't? Or maybe it was the case it was on?
So I have stickers underneath of bands that are hard to pronounce, but nobody knows about that. Shh.
Okay.
I
didn't
painted
even know
my
about that.
theremin, which actually, any of you listening out there, don't paint your theremin unless you have a very thorough understanding of the chemistry of paint because it will affect your pitch and zero beat field.
Oh my.
Mm.
But you found a way to make it work, right?
Yes.
Good. And we can check that out. When we go back, I know you're doing the debut, the release party on Sunday at the Spotlight, May 7th in
Starlight.
What did I say?
Spotlight.
The
It's Starlight.
Starlight, yes, in Southbridge.
Mhm.
May 7th, album release show. May 14th at Dusk in Providence, and May 20th at 10 Forward in Greenfield, Massachusetts. Those are just a few of the shows you have coming up, right?
Saplingband.com for the rest.
There you go, saplingband.com. I love it. Well, thank you, Rainey, Amber, and Johnny Spaghetti.
We don't have any more games?
We only got one question. Come on, give us more. That was
too much.
There's three of you.
Talk
I'll
too
give
much
you
and we're being punished.
pick another
number 3.
Number 3. Hope I don't run out of time. All right. We've got
You have
7
6
minutes.
minutes and 3 seconds left.
I didn't even know.
Here we go. All right, somebody already got this, but have you ever been in love?
Buzzcocks. But that's have you ever fallen in love? Wait, all right. This is a
Yeah.
different song. I take back my answer.
Gang of
So-
Four.
Like a beetle on its back.
Unfortunately, these are not all punk songs.
I was so
I
proud of
mean-
myself, but then I heard it in my head and like that's not the right song.
Originally done by Leo Sayer.
Mm. Crickets.
So you're 1 for 1. I'll give you one more chance.
Rainy, pick a number.
Okay, 44.
Are you lonesome tonight?
What is that?
I also know what this is. It's a song that my dad used to listen to a lot.
An old person
Um,
song, yeah.
He was a classic rock guitarist, and I'm blanking on it, but John, help us out.
I don't know, Clapton.
No, Elvis Presley, the
Uh,
king of rock and roll.
that seems straightforward. No kings but drag kings.
Fuck the king.
Who fears
Oh,
a king?
damn it! I almost made it.
You almost made it.
We're gonna have one good bleep.
Well, thank you very much, Sapling. I can't wait to see you live on Sunday at the Starlight in Southbridge, Massachusetts.
Bring the
Doors at 2,
poncho.
music at 3.
I was to say it's a matinee show, right?
Yes.
That's
And we're
really
playing
good.
with our
So we can
friends
go to bed
Crow,
in time.
Crow Follow and Mini Beast will be joining us.
And have you played with them before?
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Especially Mini
I know
Beast.
Mini Beast you had on some video you did.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much. You guys are awesome and can't wait to see you play live.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, thank you.